Was this a trap? I mean, once we opened the economy in 90s, we opened the economy, and basically why you are here? I mean, like, why you came to Nepal? What were the factor that motivate you people coming to Nepal to invest and or to do your business? When we see like a lot of Nepalese businessmen, they are still struggling with a lot of policy matters. But we see all three companies are progressing, and all shareholders, including the employees, are very happy. Why you came here? I mean, when you see the business environment as per the conversation, very difficult here. Ravi sir. Yep.
Thank you, Dipenderji. It's an honor to be here and share the stage with my fellow colleagues in Nepal. Surya Nepal came into Nepal in the year I think the company was established in 1984, and very soon ITC came in as an investor in Surya Nepal. I think for any company to enter a country, the reasons are economic. And Nepal presented a huge opportunity during that time. It was a market that was ready to be developed. Consumption was about to start. I mean, it's a story of any developing economy, where over the years you see potential as the economy grows. But very fundamentally, at the core of all of this, it was a market where the cost of capital of doing business was low. Okay, so for example, today in Nepal, whenever we do some projects, we consider a cost of equity of 16%, right? Now you add the cost of compliance to this, that cost of capital easily inches up to about 17 to 19%. Now that I think is at the core of reasons for either business investment happening or not happening. Now, which means that any project that comes into Nepal through the FDI route must deliver a return which is higher than the cost of capital, which is 17 or 18%, which is a very, very tall order, right? So I think that's at the core of the issue. I think we can talk more about this. I'm sure my fellow colleagues will also throw some light on this.
When you enter in the market, Nepali market, how is the growth pattern compared to then and now? What are the companies' experience in terms of expanding the businesses, other ventures in Nepal? What are the future plans?
So we've been extremely bullish about our prospects in Nepal, and I think over the years, that confidence that we had in the Nepalese market has only become a reality. As you know, I mean, I don't want to trace the growth in turnover and profits, but we become the largest taxpayer in the country. And that's a reflection of not just the power of consumption in Nepal, but also the future potential that it holds. Currently, we are also diversifying. We are investing in new businesses. Our FMCG portfolio is growing. So we continue to invest. We had 2 factories. Now we have a 3rd factory, and we bought a land for a 4th factory. So we are continuously investing in Nepal. We continue to be very bullish about prospects here, despite temporary macroeconomic blips. Okay, and these are business cycles that keep happening. I mean, Nepal also goes through its own cycle of business. There are good years and there are bad years. But in the long run, much like the potential that we see in the entire subcontinent, Nepal is a part of that growth story. And Nepal is a hugely potential investment destination for all of us. We also have land for our hotels business. So we would like to get into the hospitality business as well. The land has been procured and kept for some time. Obviously, we're facing some issues there, but that's an 800 million rupee investment waiting to happen at any time. So we are committed. So that's the level of commitment that we have, and that's the level of confidence that we have in Nepal's future So we will continue to invest.
हामीलाई याद छ नेपाल सरकारले चाहिँ देयर आर मल्टिपल इन्भेस्टमेन्ट समिट द्याट वी अलरेडी अर्गनाइज्ड एन्ड लट अफ इन्भेस्टमेन्ट कमिटमेन्ट हेज बिन डन देयर बट इन रियालिटी वी क्यान रिफ्लेक्ट अन द डेटा हाउ मच इन्भेस्टमेन्ट केम टु दिस कन्ट्री एन्ड दोज हु साइन्ड एन्ड केम हियर कहिले कहिले कस्तो हुँदो रहेछ भने दे हेभ सफर लट रेड कार्पेट लगाएर कोठाभित्र लाने इन्भेस्टमेन्ट समिटको जहाँ भइराखेको छ त्यहाँ कमिटमेन्ट गराउने अनि भित्र लगेर चाहिँ मुङ्राले हान्ने जस्तो कानुनहरू भयो भने अनि द्याट इज सो फ्रस्ट्रेटिङ एन्ड बिहान वेन महेश आचार्य सर वाज डेलिभरिङ हिज स्पिच why investor will come to this country when there are other competitive area, when other countries are making their legal barriers much easier than Nepal. If we see Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, and compare to the GDP, how much foreign investment they are receiving, we are, as already said, we are less than 1% of our total GDP. And look at Bangladesh, how they are grown by the investment environment. So that's there. So I mean, like, it's not only the commitment, but in reality, how we function our investment environment or how we deliver the services to the investor is also important thing. Ravi sir, very honestly, what is stopping Surya Nepal to open up the hotel? I mean, as we know, your parent company is operating very big, beautiful hotels outside in India as well. And then service industry being one of the very growing sector in Nepal. For a long time, I heard this news about Surya Nepal opening up the new big hotel somewhere around in Budanil Kantha, if I am correct. So what's stopping Surya Nepal?
It's okay. I mean, we'll not get too much into the details of why this is not happening, but so from our side, we are ready. Okay, we purchased the land, and I think as you would expect, there are issues related to land that we continue to face. I think we bought about 72 ropenis. We've already given up some 8 ropenis because of some adjoining issues. Even after that, we are not able to go ahead because of some small issue that we are dealing with related to land. We continue to do all the other work which pertains to setting up the structure for bringing up the hotel, but it's going very slow. For us to pending that small land issue that we have. But yeah, so even after giving up land that we have paid for, we are still not able to start. We are working with the government. I mean, the intent is there. They really want to help us. But I think at the end of the day, see, we have to. One of the reasons why Surya Nepal and other companies we've been successful in Nepal is that we've learned to live with the local ecosystem. You can't be separated from the local ecosystem and hope to succeed. Okay, so you have to be one with the local ecosystem and be part of their growth story as well and be part of their aspiration as well. So if that doesn't happen, you can build, huge structures, you can build in a lot of money, you can bring in a lot of money, but consumers and patrons will not, value that. So I think in that journey, we have to take some decisions which keep first societal interests in mind, rather than purely financial or economic interests of Surya Nepal. So everything has to gel, and then, things will happen. And it's happened. I mean, for us, we are a living example of how success can happen if we become one with the local ecosystem.
Ravi sir, coming back to the the lucrative offer that Unilever's gave to their shareholder, any plan to go to public very soon, Surya Nepal, being a highest taxpayer in Nepal?
No, you see, the fundamental need for, you know, going public is to raise capital. Okay, so, but if you are able to generate internal capital and reinvest, there is that way no financial need to go public. So for example, if we are going to invest in the hotel, it will be all through internal resources. So therefore, at this stage, there is no real dire need for raising capital for us. So that's one. Obviously, when you go public, there is a larger participation of retail investors, etc. But you know, that we will consider as things go along. You know, organizations evolve, and I am sure at some time in the future, this will be on the cards.
Thank you. I will start from you. We have 10 minutes around 10 minutes. So as this is a budget conversation, pre-budget seminar, and you operate, Nepal became federal recently, and you operate in multiple, level. I mean, like, you have to interact with the federal government, provincial government, and the local government as well. Are there any specific policy or regulations that, that's creating problem for your industry, especially like, 3 industries, like industry specific, or, at the broader level on the FDI spectrum? Do you have any suggestion to our government? I mean, as finance minister this morning says, like, please note down all the recommendations that he will be open to include those. Do you especially have any recommendations?
So no, we'll look at it in 2 aspects. One is long-term strategic framework on policy and the short-term tactical framework on policy. I think in terms of the long-term framework on policy to encourage FDI, I think Nepal has already got a fantastic framework in place. I don't think there's anything that is required to further improve that. I mean, we can always talk about a few improvements here and there, but there's nothing to take away from the current policy that is there, whether it is FITA or Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. Everything is, I think it's conducive to companies coming in and investing in Nepal. Now the issues are outside the policy framework, according to us. One is we have to market ourselves well. When we say we, I'm saying Nepal. We have to market ourselves really well in the external world. We have to create internal capabilities to enhance exports, right? If you do not have labs which are accredited whose reports are not accredited or labs are not accredited, exports will not happen. And therefore, any export-oriented industry, whether domestic or FDI, will not be able to kind of flourish. And then the usual stuff, the cost of compliance in doing business, infrastructure. In India, we are currently looking at some 11 lakh crores of investment in just developing infrastructure. And that, will kind of add to GDP and growth in the future. So I think the issues are, very familiar, but I would generally say there's nothing to nitpick about as far as long-term strategic FDI policy is concerned. I think that's pretty much in place. I just want to add a couple of points, sorry, with your permission. It just occurred to me when I talked about the more tactical ones. I think land ceiling is one issue because it keeps coming as an impediment. It keeps coming as an impediment for further investment. So I think for the industry which wants to invest in Nepal, you cannot have land ceiling laws restrict that investment. I mean, an FDI company cannot open 10 different companies just to buy land, which is what happens here in Nepal. I mean, there's a roundabout route to procure the land, but everybody opens multiple companies to procure land. But as long as you have a project report and an investment proposal which is sound, I think land ceiling should be looked at. And we've been speaking about this for some time. The other is, as Amlan mentioned, intellectual property. There are many of our brands which are registered by, local business houses. So how can we then come in and make investments here when the brands are not even, our own brands, which are, in the technical definition, well-known brands, are registered by other people here. So that also restricts investments if intellectual property is not protected.
Ravi sir, the final one, I forgot earlier, because Surya Nepal also closed one of the very good brand, Zone Player, used to be here, produced in Biratnagar or somewhere else. What was the reason behind, very quickly that? And another one is, as you are positioned as a BP of the Nikki, what role can Nikki play in terms of, easing up our trade barriers between India and Nepal, how they can work with the local private associations, FNCCI, CNI? Are there like enough cooperations within these basically three associations?
See, the apparels business was a long time ago, much before I came in. I'm not sure about all the details, but I think it was probably a taxation issue, which was not favorable for a local business to be set up and run. I leave it at that because I don't know much beyond that. As far as Nikki and our work with partner agencies are concerned, I think we are very, very well integrated with every other industry body, whether it is CNI or FNCCI. I think the great thing about what I've seen, as somebody who's just come in and, we've seen the kind of work, people here work as a team. Nobody has a specific personal agenda. I mean, FNCCI does not have a personal agenda, CNI does not have a personal agenda, and neither does Nikki. And it's great that many of these industry bodies are working hand in hand, and in many of the representations to the government, either in Nepal or in India, we do it together, and we are there, in many of these forums as a joint team. Now, in terms of enhancing India-Nepal trade, I think one is to look at what is the existing opportunity, but there are many new opportunities that can be looked at. IT is one. So we should work with NASSCOM, bring them here, and make them look at the opportunity in Nepal. There are other areas like this, the exports with respect to medicinal aromatic plants, and many other products where Nepal, many other products which are very unique to Nepal, which can be showcased to the world. I think, yes, there are a lot of opportunities like that, new ones that we can really go after.